I'm going to recommend a book to Christian conservatives. And it's this book right here, How to Win, by Charlie Kirk. Some of you all will remember Charlie Kirk. He was the guy that got shot and killed. And on the bottom of the book, it says, finding the will to individually and collectively to fight for America. I got to tell you that I'm not Charlie Kirk. I'm William Winship, and I'm in a battle right now, and I'm fighting. And I've been fighting right now with a very crooked system in Ocala, Florida, with an attorney that has completely, totally lied and manipulated and cheated and tried to steal my wife's inheritance. And this isn't the first time. This is the second time. Not the same attorney, but the same idea. They take advantage of people that are vulnerable, and that's how they get their money, and that's how they get paid. But the problem is that most people think I'm crazy because I'm fighting this battle, because I'm all alone, because nobody else is fighting alongside with me. And guess what? Charlie Kirk knew that. That's why I'm saying to these Christian conservatives particularly, please don't read this book, because you might wake up. And if you wake up, you might actually do something. Because the whole point is, Charlie was a guy out there, he was speaking, and he was speaking loudly, but not very many people heard him. And even now, I'm not sure people actually understand. They have empathy for the widow, and they have empathy for the widow's children that'll never see their father again. I had this lawyer, Christopher Anderson, they actually sent me an email using Charlie Kirk to gaslight me. Yes, you heard it right, folks. He was gaslighting me, trying to get me to chill a little bit before the next day he had to go tell the judge the lies. And he lied and lied and lied some more, saying that I was the problem, when in fact they're the ones that really need to take a look at themselves for what they're actually doing. Taking advantage of somebody that can't even fight their own battles. You know what? The good news is there's a whole group of people that have retired the lawyers. What I mean by that is we really don't need lawyers anymore. A lot of lawyers are liars. Not all lawyers are liars, but there's an awful lot that get their law degree, they barely pass the freaking degree. They don't have any concept of ethics whatsoever. Throwing the ethics right out the window just so that they can get some gains. Quick money. It's pretty easy to manipulate the law when the guy on the other side doesn't know the law, and to take advantage of the legal system. And finding a good attorney to represent you that'll litigate is nearly impossible. Why do you suppose that is, folks? Because if they lose in the litigation, it affects their credibility, and so therefore they don't get future clients. It's easier just to kind of bully your way as far as you can, get as much fees as you can, and then pull the cork and leave the client sitting there financially busted. So that's what they did. They had us hire 2 attorneys, played the game as long as they could, racked up the bills, put anything and everything they could up in the Hernando County portal, and tried to dupe us. And the judge, I have no idea what she's thinking, really. I don't think she's taking it very seriously. And if she is taking it seriously, they wanted to sanction me. They wanted to get me to cross the line so they could sanction me. They even went as far as to send a process server to the house that we own in Brooksville, Florida, all the way from Ocala. To do what? To try to have me get pissed off and lose my cool so that I would maybe take a swipe at the process server so they could have me thrown in jail. Yeah, they've even broken into the house. They've crossed the freaking border. The one that says, do not enter. The one that says, private property, the one that says signed on the bottom. They even took my signs down and changed the locks and stole things from the estate. Why? Because they're crooked. That's why. Oh no, they have a crooked client. Oh no, the paralegal did it. They blame everybody and take zero responsibility, and then they book. And then they leave. They do the damage. They get as much money as they can from you because they are knowing how to manipulate the law and take advantage of people. But you think I'm crazy? Well, let me tell you what. I'm just getting started. I'm just getting started, folks. I'm getting ready to have a phone call with a group of people that are advocates that understand exactly what's going on. In fact, they are saying you don't need an attorney. You just need to know how to report the information to the right people and hold those people accountable to actually do something, which I've done for the most part. But I'll see what they have to say, because this is what's happening now. Citizens are being ripped off by lying, scheming, scumbag attorneys. And then they file a defamation of character. You know what? You can't defame somebody's character when they've got none. Seriously? But then again, who am I? I am one little instrument in a great orchestra of life. What's bothersome in here is the conservative Christians have no idea, and they don't want to get involved because they're afraid that if they get involved in something like this and they actually have to put their reputation on the line, they might actually be seen as radical. Are you kidding me? These Democrats are radical. They are literally the influencers of the media, the social media. We have about that much freaking, I don't know how to put it, influence, because we have laid down and we have quit fighting and we stood on the sidelines way too long. You don't believe me? Look at what happened in New York. Not only that, Letitia James, she lied and lied and lied and lied and lied some more, but the media is trying to cover it up. And they'll try to cover this up. They won't even let this algorithm work. They won't even let the algorithm climb. Or maybe it will. Maybe there will be a couple Christians that'll hit the share button. Share, and share some more. Why? Well, it's almost cost me my life. Mentally, financially, socially, my marriage, everything. But they're enjoying it. It's a big jokey haha. Because they don't have any responsibility, really, to play the game, take advantage of people. My friend who's a consultant said, here's the strategy. First, they'll try to intimidate you with a lawsuit. Then you'll get scared and you'll hire lawyers, which we did. Then they'll try to bankrupt you by dragging it on and on and on, which they did. Dragging it on and on and on. My second lawyer even told me they were dragging it on and on and on. But so was he, in all truth be known. And then when they found out my wife was autistic, well, then the judge told her to represent herself. She didn't give her any help. She just said, you represent yourself. You are going to go and represent yourself. My wife doesn't even have a clue what that means. Are you kidding me? She's never been involved in anything like this. And certainly, she's the most honest, caring, wonderful woman that I know. But she's scared. She's afraid of them. She's intimidated by them. So now that intimidation comes to me, and then it goes through full circle. And I'll tell you what, I've had to hire psychologists, people that actually help me stay anchored. I've got friends that have helped me stay calm. But you know what? It's okay to lose it a little bit, don't you think? I mean, based on the fact that this is what they're doing, and then in the end, they're going to discredit you by trying to steal your integrity. Because they have none. So they're going to try to weaponize you and say, you're crazy because you're standing up to them. Because you know what? It takes a crazy man to stand up to these liars. I was on this particular lawyer's doorstep on the public sidewalk when he threatened to call the cops of all people. I already called the cops. I told him I called the cops before I even went there because I knew what his game was. He told me he was going to call the cops while I was sitting on a public sidewalk. And his other bully came out. The other attorney was like, "Oh, go inside, go inside." He didn't want the other attorney to know what a scoundrel he was. But then the other scoundrel helped him and said, "Yeah, we're calling the cops. You better leave right away." And so I was there with a witness, and basically what we did is we backed up. We got in our vehicle. We waited for 20 minutes. No cops showed up. But then the next day, he went into the courts, and he lied and lied and lied some more. What's even worse is he tried to use Charlie Kirk to create empathy with me, like he really gives a damn. You know, I've never seen anything so scummy and gross in my life. He literally tried to use Charlie Kirk to gaslight me. Seriously? I wonder how many people that care about Charlie Kirk really care are going to stand up and fight, because right now this book tells me there's not very many of you.